The Hebrew text in the Bible has hidden formats. By revealing these formats, I will prove the first writer's words were hidden from you. These formats look like poetry as I group them into small paragraphs. Their grouping will become known as a psalm, and together they become psalms. Let me show you our Creator's 12 commandments, listed in Exodus chapter 20, verses 1 through 17. Any father of a family or his wife who did not obey any one of these 12 commandments, our Creator demanded they bring him a sin offering. Thus, our Creator defined the word sin as not obeying any one of these 12 commandments. Next, I want to show you how I changed one word in Exodus 26, verse 26, the word bars to arches, and the words now reveal the style of the roof for our Creator's tent for meeting with Him. Let me show you the translator's words from the preface of the 1611 King James Bible. They gave 4 reasons for themselves or others to edit the Bible's words. The red arrow at the top points to their 3rd reason to edit the text. By the light and feeling we attained unto ourselves. The next red arrow down points to them giving the title, the Divine, to a clerk named Gregory. The next block of words, they point out they were happy that the first emperor of Rome established the year to the course of the sun. Behind this text means Nebuchadnezzar ordered his kingdom to follow our Creator's calendar when he stopped eating grass. Did you notice the letter S in sun is capitalized? This is to give respect to the Egyptian sun god Ra. Have you seen the Egyptian obelisk in the Vatican's front yard? The last arrow points to your reward for studying the Bible. Your reward is to have a fellowship with the saints and participation of a heavenly nature that will never fade away. There is no such thing as nature to a truthful Christian. Our Creator created everything. By their own words, they were not seeking to know our Creator or Jesus. Not everyone has the knowledge to correct every word. I have an old Bible program that has the New American Standard Bible 1977 concordance to help find a better word. Their concordance has the number of times they use that English word in a parenthesis for that Hebrew word. The translators removed his name, YHVH, to put in 2 titles, Lord and God. I replaced those titles using the letters Y and V as his name. For the Hebrew language does not have a J, O, or W. By using these 2 letters, I am closer to the truth than anyone using J, O, or W for his name. So why is there a single letter O in the Hebrew text 1,095 times? No proper English was used? The blue highlighted text is text that I am removing. The red highlighted words are little words that I'm adding. Gray italic words are words that I added. To respect and honor our Creator, all capital letters in purple are our Creator's words. This is Jesus' prophecy, for I am revealing the first writer's words to tell you the true truths about Jesus. As the text is revealed, you can taste the writer's style of wording. Their words will take your belief to trusting our Creator. You will be watching prophecy before your eyes as I edit true truths back into their psalms. All right, here I am. And I'm recording this for history reasons. And if you want to see the final work, just go to the end of the video. What I'm doing is revealing the first writer's hidden formats, and when you see them, you'll know that I just didn't make these up. I know I'm editing the text, but I start with the text above. This is what I start, and then I do. And I know my knowledge is a little bit higher than everybody else's because our Creator made me see him, so I don't have a belief. I know our Creator exists. So to correct the text, people are not aware of the meanings of the words. So what you're going to see me do here is explain my editing and go from there. Let's see, I should blow this up just a little bit more so you can see the text I'm working on. For example, what I've done here just the other day, because I'm streaming 6 days a week, 2 times a week, or 2 times a day, because there's a lot of work to be done here. But what I'm going to do is I'm looking for this format, which is a period, like a statement, and then these two connect together like a long sentence. But what it is these two are really stating what this is. So it's hard for somebody to go through and make this type of thing up. That's why I'm saying it just happens when I do the editing. And what you're noticing here is a small paragraph and then another like small paragraph that makes a larger paragraph. And then the pattern repeats and repeats and repeats for it to be true. Or showed that whether I have text that's missing by not having the extra like for paragraph. So these are also known as a psalm individually, and then together these are psalms, and then all of them together are psalms. So this is what I'm looking for, because in Jeremiah I found a 4-verse format, but it's kind of rare, and that's just using like 2 of these and then another 2 of these that make this sentence, and then it becomes a small paragraph. So I know that this one's going to be a very long one, so just hang in there. It's probably going to be about 3 hours today, maybe even longer. Woes to the shepherds who are destroying and scattering the sheep of my pasture. Well, we know that this is overdoing it. That's oversalted words. Woes to the... I would say herders, because if you have what we have today known as the sheep are the ones who are kind of the weak Christian, and then there's the goats that aren't afraid of going out there and actually presenting themselves as knowing our Creator. They aren't ashamed. So the thing here is what you see here is I need the word herders to be for both of these groups. And scattered my people. They aren't sheep. You don't consider people sheep, or yeah. And because it's people, and who they're scattering is Jesus's people. A lot of you don't know the text that well, but our Creator gave Jesus the right to have people enter his kingdom. So though that is the meaning of his people or his servants, okay, are scattering his people. And you can see what I've just done in editing when I'm adding. I usually use red, but you'll see that if I clicked on the red, you can't see the word. Here is the word people, and I'm just replacing the word that it was intended to be. If it's too far away, I will put it in as I put that text in, and that'll be in yellow text. And it's not woe, it is woes. Woes, and I'm adding, so I do this. Woes, not 2, but 4. And since I'm replacing this word, I do it like this. Woes for the herders who are destroying and scattering his people. They aren't destroying them, so the word can't be true as being destroying. They are misleading. A lot of like preachers today that don't understand the text. And if you've seen the intro, you've seen there are 12 commandments. And I believe I am still the only one preaching or I'm teaching that there's 12. I've been doing this for 30 years, but I don't think I been on the I've been on the internet since 1995, by the way. So it's been a long time. So, who are misleading and scattering his people. And I'm using the word scattering because it's tied to herders. Now, this, if it's a 3-verse format, because if you see this as a period, this as a comma, then you'll see this as a period. And since this seems like our Creator is speaking, we don't need these words, okay? What they've done is haven't introduced these words correctly by saying words from our Creator coming through, which came through Jeremiah, and then he tells us his prophecy of what he's talking about. And this is, right now, it's not a prophecy here, but if it goes down to say, hey, this is what's going to happen to you because you've done that, then it's a prophecy. So, see, this is like, it's reading out of place. Like this text should be going before. Like this was said by YV through Jeremiah's prophet. Woes to the, see, that's what's going to happen. I'm going to have to move this text. Okay. I think it says move group up 1G. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the text, I'm going to copy it, and then I'm going to make it smaller because I need to know where it came from or where I got it from. And then I'm going to put it here. And if I get too many of them, I colorize these so it's easier to distinguish. And I would be moved group here. Okay. Now that this is done, well, I'm going to have to say I've got to get rid of this so it's was said by YV through yeah, I guess it's I use that. Jeremiah, his prophet. Okay. Now this is our Creator's possession, and I'm not using these words at all, but all these words, like I said, I'm adding to be truthful and correct. So I have it italicized, and then I put them in all gray, okay? And that way you know what I've done. And this is going to be a prophecy by YV. Now, since I'm adding it, there's the first time you're seeing that red text in on this one here video. Now, I don't like the word thus. This is a better word. And then it's by our Creator. And then I'm getting rid. Therefore, this prophecy by YHVH through Jeremiah's prophecy. And I'm trying to get rid of the word therefore here in my mind. This is a prophecy by YHVH to Jeremiah. To, yeah, I'm missing who he's been assigned. So I can't have these words here. Yes. This I need to copy but get rid of right now, because this is telling me this prophecy by YHVH through Jeremiah to, and I don't know yet, so I'll put a space and I'm going to put a period. That, I believe, is a better way of, because I've done these so many times, he's got to be assigned to go where to. Right now, they're herders. Now, herders could be the priest, the scribes. It could even mean the king is misleading the people. So that's what I'm going to leave there for the text right now, and then come down here and work on this. If he's already telling about the woes, this has already been said, and this has been said, and this has been said. So that is a repeat of this text, so I don't use any repeating. And I'll do this. Yours, you who are misleading and scattering his people, to drive them away by driving them away. And I'll do a lot of the extra editing later, because it takes so long to do the commas, periods, and making, respecting their Creator by putting his words in all capitals. I'm going to do that later. I won't do that in this video. By driving them away or driving them away, it looks like it's going to come up for. This is explaining the woes. So for driving them away, I don't need the word behold here. I am about to, if I'm used to scatter here, scattering, I'm about to scatter you. So to say to the writer's words, I'm going to use this word, scatter you for your evil. These aren't for your evil deeds. Sometimes I would call this acts or work. but I'm liking the word deeds right now. Deeds meaning the accumulation of all the things that they've done wrong for their evil. Evil means they're against our Creator's commandments. So, for driving them away, I'm about to scatter you for your evil deeds. See this? See how good that was? Now, when I'm saying I don't make these up, look at how that appeared just by me trying to correct the text and using the correct words. You don't need it by attending to them. You have not attended to them because it's been said already. And it just comes out this way. So it's not like I'm trying to force the words, but here are two small paragraphs that do complete that style of writing where the two small like paragraphs equal each other or complement each other. So what I've got here now is, okay, I forgot to check to make sure both streams are working, and it looks like they are, which is good. Been having trouble. So I've got to find a second one to work with this, and it's got to be talking about them and scatter for their deeds. I need them to connect to those three main subjects of that verse. For driving them away, I am about to scatter you for your evil deeds. This is talking about something later, because when he hasn't talked about scattering here, he's talking about those that have already been scattered. So this can't tie to the text above. So I'm going to put a lot of extra spaces here. I myself will gather the remnant of his people. I don't need the word, and it needs to be from, not of. From all the kingdoms. They aren't countries. From all the kingdoms where I have, it's got to be sent them. He took them away to, sent to Assyria. And he's also told in the other chapters that you haven't seen yet, unless you have been following along, you will know that he's told him to flee from here because in Judah, that I'm going to destroy the nation Judah and send them into captivity. So I have to use the word sent because he is the one who had called down Assyria, sent Israel there. Now he's going to call Babylon, and they're going to be sent. And you can't consider Chaldeans a kingdom because they didn't want to battle with Babylon. They actually, what does it say, joined them. So, where I have sent them, and will bring them back. Don't need this. and will be fruitful and multiply. And they will be, the fruitful is not the right word. So I guess, I don't know if the New American Standard has done anything here that's really, oops, I need to see this here first before I take you on a long journey. Oops, this is, I need to get to the next chapter. This, by the way, is the New American Standard Concordance, where the text is over here on this side. So when I click on this has got to be 23. Sorry about that. Well, countries. Example, if I click on a word, here's the Hebrew, or this is Strong's Concordance, and Strong only put down what he thought was the most important word here in the text. And these little dots meant there was other words. Either it's going to be from the Greek or the Hebrew. Now, down here is how many times they use this word for this word at this time. And here it says all lands, not countries. Look how many times they used it for land. But I have to use it as kingdoms. I shall bring them back, and fruitful is the word I was going for. To flourish. I don't know about that. Flourish and multiply. Multiply would mean to have children. So if I come back here and say to be one and multiply. If I put in the word one, that means he's bringing them as a group to be back as one. Not that they're going to go into their different lands, but to be one. I think that's an excellent word. One. So fruitful. So let me put it this way, that I'm adding this word, but for history, I'm replacing this word. Will be one and multiply. Now that you can see is, again, grouped together. Okay. It's not I will, then I will, well, I guess, yeah. Not raise up, but send. So I'm replacing two words with send. And we know who he's going to send is Jesus. So this is replacing this and this. And I can see I really just moved those two words here, but these two words need to be said I added them. Although I guess what I have been doing when I do that is I say that I moved these words. So that's how I say that I moved the words. Then I will send. Now here I could call, because I can see the word shepherds. Because if they're going to be no longer afraid, we also know the what's going on at the Roman time, where they were crucifying people. They were in control, so they are going to be afraid. They are going to be terrified up until what? When Jesus comes. So here, I'm going to put my herder. Now, it could be my Holy One here. Because we're talking about Jesus, I know I got to replace this. That's not correct, but a herder. Because you got to remember, there's other text, probably since David's time, King David's time, that he refers to his Holy One or earth, people on earth or in Israel would relate it as their highest male from them to become the king in heaven, so they can enter into heaven. So our Creator would say his Holy One, meaning his perfect one. So I'm going to put Holy One here. And I'm going to say I'm going to add them, get rid of this, and say I'm adding that, my Holy One. And this would mean I got to bring this down. I can't use this word. Pardon me. And then it would be over them. He will guide them not to be afraid. Tend, I can't use this. And this has to be he, meaning Jesus, but do it this way. He, Jesus, will guide them, or he will, or gather them. If I use the word gathered, is what he's going to do is more than, I think that's a better word. Which is kind of like the intent of to tend, I guess. Gather them. Okay, let me do this. And my Holy One. Now, I know his name, the Hebrews gave Jesus a name, Yah. I got to do that video. I was going to do that on, I guess I have to do that tomorrow, because I'm running into this way too often. He will gather them. And because Jesus is the subject here, if you notice what I've been doing in this, I'm trying to use one major word with another major word to then combine these with the least amount of words. And these are what I've got in here, and I'm using Jesus as the subject here in this, because it has to continue the Holy One, my Holy One, who there, I've got a good word now. Who will gather them? Okay. I'll get rid of that. I have to say, I got to add the word then here, because they're going to be under strain until Jesus comes. So then they will not be afraid, nor be terrified. But see, this what I'm stuck on here is this is not a statement. These two are tied together. Okay, so there's to get a statement, who will gather them, and this is going to be, and none will be missing. So I'm going to say move verse where up to move verse up 2 verses, even though it's, well, maybe 3. So what I'll do is copy this, then say I'm going, oops, not, I guess I gotta do this way here. I haven't made that macro up, and I definitely got to do that. And to complete the 3, I have to get rid of this. So now here, moved, I will say moved up. Now, since I know I've already done one of these, I have to start coloring these, because if there's more, I don't want everybody searching where is it. They can see it by color. Nor will any be missing. Who will gather them. Anyone nor will anyone not missing but absent. Nor will any be lost. I need the word lost, and that isn't the intent of the word missing. Okay, nor will anyone be lost. And not, I'm just trying to reduce the amount of words that I'm using. So if I do this, whoops, I did that wrong here. This was supposed to be this. And not to be afraid, nor be terrified. Now that is how the 3 verse appears. Even though that they moved the text around, I didn't try to, I just knew that these two were connecting. So to match the format, I went and looked for it. That's what happens. So, but I didn't put my own words in here to meet the format. I used what's there. All right. Then I will send my Holy One who will gather them, nor will anyone be lost, and not to be afraid, nor be terrified. Now this is saying the same thing, only differently. So this piece, these are going to be pieces again, and not completing the story here. This would be his days, Jesus's days. So if I say I need to add this word here, his days, because, and then I try to make sure that it's our Creator destined these days, or prophesied these days, but Jesus is fulfilling them, so it has to have him involved in this wording. His days are coming. I didn't mention yet about the fuchsia colored words. Those are added words in 1977. The NSAB anyways. His days are coming. I don't need to add the word here, but I do need to use this word here, and I'll make it mine. The days are coming when I will send, not raise up, but send. David's son. If you know about the prophecy that Nathan told Jesus, or told David about Jesus as being a king, you have to realize that state a king forever through David's son's seed is the only reason why you get to enter into heaven. So that has to be put in here, and righteous. So it has to be son, David's son, and this would be a capital S, and it would be red, son. I'm not going to use this because Jesus is not a king until after his soul leaves his body on the cross and enters into heaven. Then he becomes our king in heaven. So this is actually wrong. He will, and he will act wisely by I'm gonna change. I would say doing, but it's got to be his justice. So it's got to be something other than by following my justice. And he will act wisely by following my justice. For his righteous, for his righteous, no, in the land. That would be correct. By following my justice. He will act wisely by following my justice. And with his righteousness in the land. Usually I use the word righteous or righteousness to mean the one who is most obedient to our Creator, such as Noah, such as Abraham, not many others, but those two specifically. By following my justice. He will act by following my justice. They will. Nope. I was going to say, see his righteousness in the land. No. Justice. A simple word I kept going over. I kept missing. For righteousness in the land. Okay. For righteousness in the land. By following my justice. To have righteous. Yeah, it has to be to have righteousness in the land. Yes. I had to get to 4 before I could get to okay. Now those two group together. He's not saving them though. They aren't to dwell securely. It would be Judah's and Israel's. That would mean these are speaking of the nations when they're gathering back. Now, if I'm only going to use those two, I have to say, get rid of that. Have righteousness in the land. And I guess I need the word for. I'll put the word for because I got the word and here. For Judah's and Israel's, or Israel's. I'm not sure how this is going to happen. Um, for Judah's and Israel's. Will have no. I can't. I'm just saying that this is not reading right. So because it just doesn't happen. I mean, they're going to crucify Jesus, so they can't be dwelling securely. For Judah's and Israel's. If I use the word dwell means live. So if I use live, live, then what am I tying it to? Let me just put this as I'm going to do this and get rid of that. Will live. What is this telling the word this mean? And I guess by not understanding that word here, will live. Will live by his name or live for his name? Judas and Israel's who live by his for his name. Who? I'm not sure if I'm going to need this. Who will live? Yeah, I'm gonna say this is gray. Who will live? Whoops, and by his live for his name. For his name. Whoops, got it in the wrong spot. And it's kind of like this word here is for his name. Well, we know this is Jesus, so I'm just going to put it like this. Name. This word isn't important here in this. Name by name be called. For his name they will be called. They will be called. I guess I don't need this. Will be called. For Judas and Israel's. I still need the word live for his name. And if I don't use the word who here, and I use this as the end, will be called for their righteousness. Okay. That took a while. That one was a little bit fun to edit. For Judas and Israel's. For Judas and Israel's will live for his name. See, they're promised to be told. They've been waiting for Jesus, or who is known as Yah to them, in the land of the living. For Judas and Israel's will live for his name. Living. Then I don't need this word. Living for his name. Because they're supposed to wait, so they are living for the anticipation of his arrival. So they're living for his name because our Creator is sending them back for that purpose. For his name. Will be called for their righteousness. Okay, I think that's good enough. I don't think I need to add anything more. But this, 1, 2, then I've got to find another words for this. Now, this is, we've already done this. This, if Creator's speaking, we don't need this. Now, see this, because I've got something missing here, but so this text here that's going to be here has to be separated. But I need to look at this text here a little bit. Who brought the sons from Israel back from the land of Israel? Well, where was this verse that I had missing? I drive them away. I'm about to scatter you for your evil deeds. Now, see, this is... They will no longer say... They will no longer say, we live by. We live by... out from, out, this is an important word, so out from, don't need this, out from Egypt. They will know when they no longer, this is, they're trying to say this is like this, but as YV lives, who brought, he's sending them from Babylon, so they're from the north coming down south, so it can't be up. As YV lives, he has brought us back. He didn't lead them, that's for sure. But he did make Nebuchadnezzar eat grass for a while. And then when he woke up, he said, yeah, he's the creator. So that's why all the things that happened in the book of Daniel is why they're sending him back. I know the other books, but they're all false. That's why when you see I corrected the other books for the ending, it was Daniel who was sent back because he would have been the one to tell them to check the archives and where to look. Wait a second. I've got descendants here. So what happens is if I go here, back the descendants, of the tribes from Israel the male. Israel the male. So if I've got this, because this I'm seeing has got to be separate. From, this has to be from. Now if from the tribes from Israel, back the descendants. Yeah, because I can't, I'm looking, what I'm testing here in my head is this. To see, now I've got those two hooking together, but I need a statement. And what I'm seeing is, yeah, I got to make this because it is, but as YV returning back the descendants, but as YV has returned return not to lead, but to send. I'm just struggling trying to figure out what's making the most sense here of the words, because he's sending them back. He's got the king Denarius writing the proclamation or the declaration or the announcement that all Israel's in his kingdom are being told that if you want to go back to Jerusalem and reestablish, what I'm wanting is the Jerusalem to be rebuilt and the house for YV to be rebuilt. So he is sending, not lead, and sent. And sending, I don't know if it's sending yet. But YV has sent. And then I don't need brought. I'll put has here. But as YV has sent back the descendants from the tribes from Israel. Because this has to be said, because this is that's how they were speaking when they came out of Israel. They would say that our Creator created the nation Israel, and the nation Israel is the 12 tribes. Now, however you want to argue, we have no text. How come exactly telling us why Ephraim and Manasseh, Joseph's sons, were returning? I know I could get into why, but that'll happen when I start teaching from the text. But right now, this is this meaning what they would have been saying, and now that they're going to be saying this. They will no longer say, as YV here I could use the word led us. Us out of the land, out of Egypt. It will no longer say, as YV led us out from Egypt, but as YV has sent back the descendants. Okay, now that's good when it really does make sense completely. But if you notice, I'm working on words, and all of a sudden, as I'm adjusting the words, it becomes more and more clear, and that's good, because this is why I'm doing this, for history's sake, so people can actually understand my thought process while I'm doing this. From the land, see, now this is from the northern, because you got to remember, Persia was a little bit. Did they go into Persia, or did they stay in Babylon and Assyria? How would I say from But I guess it would be northern kingdoms, because it would be saying, if I do kingdoms, I'm saying from Assyria, because they didn't go into their Babylon to become Babylon, because they did. And I don't know how far. I'm thinking they conquered all of Turkey, and probably even a little bit more to the east, or to the west, because the Assyrians would have done more there. So if I use the word kingdoms, would be truthful and have that meaning, that even from the farthest reach that Assyria had sent them, from the northern kingdoms, and all the, because I'm seeing he's not saying from Egypt here. Not countries, but places, because I don't know how far they would have went into what we call today Jordan in Saudi Arabia. So it has to be, and from all the lands. But I got to put in kingdoms, I guess. I guess I got to put, those are kingdoms. So if I do this and just say, quit struggling, get to work. From the northern, I'm going to use this. So from the northern kingdoms, and from all the kingdoms where I had sent them. It's got to be he sent them, not. Although, if this is our Creator speaking of the prophecy coming, where I had sent them, then they will live on their own soil. No, because they're already being